Hello guys, welcome to Cafe at Simplify, and yeah, this is another lunch bite. Let's dive in, and this is macroeconomics semester 2, year 1. Yes, our questions. These questions you can listen to them anytime, but specifically during that lunchtime, you can you can do something and add value. Yeah. Which of the following is an inaccurate explanation why wages are sticky? Wages being sticky refers to the resistance of wages to increase even in response to economic downturns. So, which of the following is an inaccurate explanation why wages are sticky? Why wages do not easily change? Have government keeps taxes too low? Some employees have employment contracts. Minimum wages prevent firms from lowering wages. Firms do not know if shocks of the economy are permanent or temporary. Okay. So we see that the answer here is the government keeps taxes too low. When the government keeps taxes too low, this makes which of the following is an inaccurate explanation why? Inaccurate why wages are sticky. So government keeping taxes too low is not an explanation why wages are sticky. Yeah, wages can be sticky because of employment contracts. Yeah, cannot easily change. You already made the contract. Minimum wages prevent firms from lowering wages. That means wages will still be sticky, will be fixed. Firms do not know if shocks of the economy are permanent or temporary. Yeah, so this can also keep the wages to be sticky. So this happens due to sticky wages happens due to factors like employment contracts, minimum wage laws, uncertainties about economic shocks. However, low taxes do not contribute to wage stickiness, making A our best option. Which of the following is not an example of automatic stabilizers? A. Increased income tax revenues due to average incomes going up during an expansion. B. The government raises the marginal income tax to discourage excess spending. C. Reduced unemployment rates during an expansion means more people working and the government pays less out in food assistance. D. Increased unemployment causes government to pay more unemployment insurance, boosting households. We see that the answer here, which of the following is not an example of an automatic stabilizer? First of all, it's important to understand what automatic stabilizers are. And automatic stabilizers are policies that automatically adjust with economic conditions without requiring new legislations. So that is what we call automatic stabilizers. They take the natural course. They don't need government to impose new laws for them to be enacted. Examples include progressive income taxes. Yeah, every time your income increases, your tax will automatically increase. Yeah, those are they don't need to first debate about it in parliament to first make laws about it. Unemployment benefits. Yeah, whenever unemployed, especially in the first world countries, the benefits always come automatically. Food assistance, yeah, like in World Health Organization, UN, they don't first need to debate about them, which help stabilize an economy during business cycle fluctuations. So, which of the following is not an example of an automatic stabilizer? Is not an automatic stabilizer. Increased income tax revenues due to average income going up during an expansion. You see that increased income tax revenues due to average income going up during an expansion. That does not qualify. We see that the answer is the government raises marginal tax rate to discourage excess spending is not an example of automatic stabilizer. Why? Because the government raises income tax to discourage excess spending. This act of raising income tax rate is a liberal act. They deliberately do it. Yes, yes. However, raising marginal income tax is a discretionary fiscal policy decision, not an automatic stabilizer, because it requires deliberate action by the government rather than happening automatically in response to economic changes. It determines how much tax a person pays on each additional unit of income earned rather than applying a flat rate of total income. I want to make this short, but in case you want an explanation about that, you can text me on WhatsApp or in the comments. List in order. Listed in order, the phases of a complete cycle are expansion, contraction, trough, peak. Expansion, contraction, trough, peak. Does it make sense? Trough, we are at the top. Expansion, no, we can't be at the top, then we expand. Boom, but doesn't make sense. Contraction, okay, we are sloping down. Trough, we reach the top max, the bottom climax. Expansion, then peak. This makes a lot of sense. Then contraction, we are sloping down. Recession, same thing. Depression, same thing. Expansion, this is not a business cycle. So we see that the answer is C, contraction, trough, and peak. This is our answer. Yeah. If I had the potential to draw here, I would try to describe, but it comes sloping, then it reaches the bottom line, then it starts to increase. Yes, maybe I can insert some shape here to illustrate that. I will use I will use maybe so. Okay, let me not illustrate. It might not come out, but from here, this point, it is contracting. Then at the bottom, it is a trough. Then it starts to expand before it reaches a peak. You guys, you have examples. You have the stuff in the books. Look at the diagram clearly. These are the phases of a cycle. And put some additional notes. Contraction means the economy slows down, declines, unemployment kicks in, rises, and business activity decreases. Trough means the lowest point of the cycle, uh, where the economy bottoms out before recovery starts. The lowest point before the economy starts to recover is the trough. Expansion, here there is a lot of relief, there is a lot of energy. Yeah, things are, it's like a healing stage. That is the expansion. Businesses grow, unemployment reduces, employment increases, GDP increases, economic growth. The peak is the topmost, the highest point of the cycle where economic growth reaches its maximum before slowing down again. So our answer was contraction. When it is sloping down, it reaches the top, the bottommost, then it starts to expand and the peak. 14. One negative aspect of a business cycle is one negative aspect of a business cycle. This business cycle we've looked at an increasing rate of inflation, a declining rate of unemployment, and declining rate of inventory investment, a reduction in government budget deficits, and we see that our answer is A, an increasing rate of inflation. Negative aspect of a business boom. Here the key point to underline is a business boom, and actually I will increase the size so that people see clearly, control you. Yes. So if you have not been seeing clearly, but we proceed. One negative aspect of a business cycle is an increasing inflation rate. We know a business cycle boom is when everything is going on well, with low levels of unemployment, high demand, and all that. But the negative part of it, it also increases the rate of inflation because people have a lot of money, people are buying demand. During the business cycle expansion phase, economic activities increase, leading to higher demand for goods and services. Yeah, that is during the business boom. This can cause inflation to rise as prices increase due to strong consumer spending, business investment, and wage growth. Then a declining rate of unemployment is a positive aspect to boom. A declining rate of unemployment, positive. A declining rate of inventory management, this one is neutral depending on the situation. A reduction in government budget deficits is also positive. Then we come to 15. Which of the following macroeconomic variables is pro-cyclical? Pro-cyclical means pro-cyclical. Pro-cyclical or pro-cyclical, depending on how you want to read it, means they are moving in the same direction. Which of the following variable is a pro-cyclical? The real interest rate, velocity of money, nominal money stock, the unemployment. So you see a cyclical variable move in the same direction as the economy. That is, increases during economic expansion and decreases during recession. And here our answer for that therefore is B. Always most notable examples of cyclical is the velocity of money and the inflationary rate. Yeah. When the economy spikes, yeah, it, or when there is an economic expansion, what happens to the velocity of money? The velocity of money also increases. When there is a decrease during recessions, the velocity of money also decreases. The same to inflation. I think I'm not right. Let's during when there is an increase or when there is an economic expansion, people have a lot of money, also inflation increases too. And when people don't have money, inflation will also reduce. Yeah, so these are the two most notable examples. And inflation and the velocity of money. Procyclical, we'll come to other examples, yeah, in the other videos. I think, yeah, I was trying to explain others where they fall. Unemployment is counter-cyclical because it rises in recessions and falls during expansion. Counter-cyclical, they move in opposite directions. Yeah, like unemployment. When the economy is doing well, unemployment reduces. That's what we are meaning, moving in opposite direction. Nominal money stock. This one does not always follow the business cycle. The velocity of money is the answer. The real interest rate. This one also depends on the policies. We come to 16. All except one of the following are factors that affect net exports. All except one are factors that affect net exports. Which one? Which one affects net exports? First of all, what is net? What is net exports? Yeah, the real interest rates paid on foreign assets. This affects capital flows, not directly net exports. High foreign interest rates may attract investments abroad, but do not directly trade in goods and services. Uh, net exports is the net exports is the difference. I didn't put the explanation here. Net exports is the difference between imports, between exports and imports. Probably I'm right. I stand to be corrected. Yeah. So which of the all except one are factors that affect net exports? So which one does not affect net exports? In brief, that is the question. And the answer is the interest rate paid on foreign assets. The interest rates paid on foreign, the interest rates paid on foreign assets. Why? The real interest rates paid on foreign assets. This affects capital flows, not directly net exports. The interest rates we pay, they affect capital flows. Hmm? Not the salary, net exports, not the difference. High foreign interest rates may attract investments abroad. Yeah, when the interest rates are high, investment abroad will also people will try to invest abroad, but not directly influence trade in goods and services. So the real interest rates paid on foreign goods does not affect our net exports, the difference. Yeah. 17. Inflation is generally pro-cyclical, and we've talked about that. Yeah, inflation and the velocity of money. Inflation is generally pro-cyclical, means higher rates of inflation tend to precede periods of high economic growth. The rate of inflation tends to rise in periods of high economic growth and falls in periods of economic growth. Prices on average rise in an economic expansion. Prices rise in economic expansion, but fall after business cycle peak, and we see that this is the answer. We have said pro-cyclical, they move in the same direction. When there is an expansion, prices rise, and when there is a contraction, they fall. Who is considered the father of modern macroeconomics? And we see that that is John M. Keynes is considered the father of modern macroeconomics. Reason because of the concepts of the general theory of employment, interest, and money after the Great Collapse, after the Great Depression of the 1929 to 1939, the 10 years during that time, people so he devised means of overcoming the depression or Great Depression year recession that America was going through, and he encouraged government intervention to rescue this terrible situation. So he revolutionized economic thoughts by introducing Keynesian economics, which emphasized the role of the government intervention in stabilizing the economy, particularly during the recession. His ideas laid the foundation for modern economic policies, the fiscal stimulus and the aggregate demand. What did the others talk about? We know Adam Smith. Adam Smith talked about the invisible hand, the free, laissez-faire, let things be. Then we've talked about John Keynes, M. Keynes, aggregate demand, government intervention. Then John Hicks, this one, the direct interactions of interest rates and output. John Hicks and Alfred Marshall, price elasticity of demand, how people respond due to changing parameters, responsiveness of quantity demanded to by changes. So the father of modern economics is John M. Keynes. 19. If a country if a country net factor income from abroad is negative, then what does that mean? GDP is less than and GNP, GDP is greater than GNP, GDP. This side we are having all GDP, four of them, either less than, either greater than, either equals or equals. Actually, the last C and D are the same. But when is net factor income negative? First of all, we have to understand what is net factor income. We see that this is the difference between income earned by the country's residents from foreign investments and income earned by foreigners within a country. We're saying it is the difference between income earned by the country's residents from foreign investments and income earned by foreigners within the country. Imagine we are seated in a class of 10 whites and we are 20 Ugandans. So when we get the those whites have businesses in Uganda and we also have businesses say in Kenya. When we subtract our income which we make outside from foreign investments, say 10,000 US dollars, yeah, and then an income earned by the Americans in Uganda here. So for them, they're earning 20. For us, we're earning 10 from the investments outside. For them, they're earning 20. And the difference is $10 still. That means we are getting a negative. We are getting ours 10,000 US dollars minus theirs, which is 20,000 US dollars. And what we get is a negative. What does that mean? It means that the country is paying more income to foreigners than receiving from abroad. Not so. The company is paying more incomes to foreigners than receiving abroad. That means our GDP, our gross national product, is 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 less, yeah, is less than the GDP. That means so the answer here is this. Control U. That means our gross domestic product is greater than the gross national product. That's why it is negative. Because this GDP here for the whole country equals to GDP of this plus net factor income from abroad. This GDP always equals to this plus this. So if you find that this one is negative, if you find that net factor income, this one is negative, yeah, that means the GDP is greater. So the market value of all final goods and services produced in an economy over a given period is called gross domestic product. I think I don't need to explain that. Yeah, gross domestic product, but I took time to redefine what is net. What is net? What is national income? And because I believe we know gross national product, gross domestic product, gross domestic product is within the premises, within the boundaries of the country. Gross national product only for the nationals and those nationals who are working abroad. Net national product, this net national product valued at this net national product is always valued at an inflation rate or after taking away the taxes. But what is national income? We see that national income is the total income earned by a country's residents from production of goods and services after subtracting direct taxes, and adding subsidies. When we subtract direct taxes, we add subsidies, we get the national income. To adjust GDP from market to factor cost, what do we do? This one is very simple. Whenever they say adjusting from where to where, just always mind about the word market, Control U, and the factor. So when something has reached in the market, that means it already has its tax attached to it. Yeah? And all subsidies, those benefits the government gives for something to be produced have already been added to it. Tax has been added to it. Well, that's why it is in the market. Like everything we buy is already taxed, and subsidies were given to the people who produced it. So now we want to reverse it and take it back to factor cost. It's like we're reversing it back to the industry. So if something is to adjust GDP from market to the industry, that means since tax was added, we are going to remove the tax, deduct taxes. But when it is in the market, that means they have already added subsidies to it. Government has already done its part on how it would help. It has already helped. Now we are going to reduce that help to take it back to the industry. So what we do, we deduct taxes and deduct subsidies because all of them, taxes were added, subsidies were added. Now we're taking it back to the industry. We remove the taxes that were added, remove the subsidies that were given to the producers. So, and the opposite is true when you're converting factor to market. Which of the following is not a leakage for circular flow of income and expenditure? Leakages reduce the flow of income because they represent money that is not being spent in the domestic goods and services. Imports, do they reduce when we import money? When we import goods, does it reduce? Yes. And we are looking for something that is not a leakage. So imports are leakages because we have imported. Control you. Then government purchases. When government purchases, does it reduce money? When government buys from people, it is injecting money. So the answer is this. Then without going further. Taxes. Taxes, net of government transfers. We see that these taxes also reduce the circular flow of money. Savings are as well. So the answer was B, government purchases. Which of the following will not? Oh my goodness, we've reached the climax of our lunch bite, and I guess you pick something. Yeah, kindly remember to share, like, and subscribe. Which of the following will you include while estimating the national income by expenditure? National income by expenditure equals to what? Equals, this is GDP by expenditure. C stands for consumption, I investment, G is government expenditure, exports minus imports. This is the formula. So which of the following will you include while estimating national income by expenditure? Rent. This rent is an income, does not fall anywhere. It is not consumption expenditure, it is not investment, it's not government, it's neither an import or export. So it is wrong. Operating surpluses. These ones are also incomes in the income expenditure. Mixed income of self-employed, that one also falls in the income. Scholarships paid by the government. Now, this scholarship paid by the government would follow here government expenditure. That is only if they are, how are they called? Only if this only if they are non-transfer earnings. But if they are transfer earnings, that would mean that none of these options are included in the expenditure method of estimation. So feel free to put none or to put government expenditure because it's the one which is nearly close. Otherwise, thank you so much. Stay tuned. Yeah, like, share, and subscribe.